Hi everybody, and welcome to our coverage of Capital Petanque Club's Winter Solstice Singles competition this year between Graham Smith and Rob Ferguson. Here's the respective players' path to the finals, and you can see here that Smitty overcame Gary 13-7 and Rob Ferguson beat Greg 13-12 in the semi-finals to get to this final. And let's catch up with the action now. And Graham has already played one ball, and you can see there Rob Ferguson has just pointed in and holds here in the first end. Wintry scene here. It is cold. Beautiful point from Smitty. Basically a resting toucher, which leaves Rob not too much choice but to shoot his second bull. One of the club's best shooters. He's short on that occasion and wide, leaving Smitty holding. So with one ball remaining, what can Rob do? And he's gone a bit long here, so the door is open for Smitty to score more than one potentially on this first end. Let's see how he goes about it. He's taken the kosh there, I think. Yep. He has moved the kosh back now. We'll have to wait and see what that means. Looks like it could be two, I think. Umpire Adele Smith called in to adjudicate over the third bull. And that's Rob's bull at the back, I think, which is closest, which means I think it's 2 to Smitty to begin with in this first end. So good start for Smitty. Worth mentioning that Rob Ferguson has been in this final for 4 consecutive years. He was a champion in 2020, his runner-up in the last 2 years, so this is very much his tournament. Smitty, on the other hand, has perhaps been Capital Petanque's most successful male player recently, enjoying success at the national championships. He's the reigning tir de précision champion in the ACT, and also is the reigning Sunday Melee champion. So 2 well-credentialed players for this final. Smitty with the first point. Second end, 2-0 lead. A lovely shot. That was a beauty. He was short, but got a very good bounce off the stones. And as you can see here, The ball cushioned in for a perfect spot carrow. And rests adjacent to the cosh. You can't get any better than that. And the frozen crowd rise to applaud as one. Not easy to bang your hands together in a Canberra winter. Now, can Smitty reply in kind? He's just short. It was a good effort, had a nice loop on it, but Rob Ferguson remains attached to the cosh.
My favourites.
So with his third ball, Smitty's likely to want to defend, get close. And he's done a great job there. That may even hold. Judging by the sound of the crowd, I think that holds.
Smitty's a darker.
Poor Rob can't take a trick here. He's pulled out a beautiful carrow, but at the moment I don't think he holds the point. Oh, he shoots again, and I think he's done a great job. He's hit Smitty's ball on the full and dislodged it, leaving his in second place. That was superb. Watch here, the arc of the ball, this time reaching the ball on the full. Superb. And leaves his in place. A beautiful shot there from Rob Ferguson. Which means he has one left to make three. Should be a formality, even with this somewhat fluky surface here at Western Park Boulodrome. He looks to have made sure of that. Indeed. Rob Ferguson now leads 3 to Graham Smith, 2 points. After 2 ends. Great view of the surrounds here at Western Park. You often see kangaroos down across the grass, heading down towards the lake. Third end, and Rob's placed that at probably about 7 metres. 7.5 metres, something like that. Both of these players accomplished shooters. I don't think the distance the jack is thrown will play too much of a factor in this final. It's quite a good one from Rob, just past the cosh. Sorry, just short of the cosh, I beg your pardon. So Smitty now in the ring to shoot, to dislodge it. Just short again. And often on this surface, if you are short, the ball will bounce over your target. Good shot from Smitty. Very good shot. He cushioned off Rob Ferguson's point and leaves himself holding on the right-hand side with the darker ball of the cochonnet. Can Rob's shooting continue? It's a short and wide this time, so no luck, leaving Smitty holding. Each player with one bull left. He's just short there. So interesting tactics in that Rob chose not to try to shoot even though he was a close second. He chose to try to cover up or to defend or indeed to win the point by pointing. That's always going to be difficult when those two bulls are so close already. So let's see what Smitty does with his last bull. He's just short. It was a good attempt. I think he was just trying to bunt up onto Rob's bull and dislodge it with a sort of firmer point. But he has to be satisfied with just the one, meaning the score is now 3 each in this Winter Solstice final. The addition of a singles comp, I think, is been a terrific thing for Capital Petanque and adds something different to our calendar of events. And even though it's played in the middle of winter and it is cold, you can see it's a bright blue day with a bit of sunshine. And it's always a good event for people to come along and play in. Always attracts a good field. So at 3-all, Smitty begins. Kosh at about 8.5 metres. Good start. He's pretty close to the kosh there. And that'll give Rob something to think about. He shoots, but he's just wide. Offline that time. So that leaves him with a job of work to do with 2 bulls left in this end, 3-all. That's a lovely shot, but I don't think it holds. He's just nudged Smitty's bull, but and he's having a close look at it. But it's still Smitty, I think, that holds. And so Rob makes his way back to the ring to throw his last. Needs a good one here. Oh, it's a beauty. That's a beauty. He is next to the kosh and holds, which means that Smitty really hasn't got any choice but to shoot here. So let's see what he can do. It might be 9 metres actually. It's quite a long way. He's just over the top of the holding bull. He's actually quite close to his own bull, so he was perhaps a bit fortunate not to knock his own out, which would have left Rob with 2. So again, he's got to be mindful of that. So how will he play this last bull? Played it high and the ball ran through and nothing was touched, which means that Rob is 1 point closer to a win. He takes a 4-3 lead. So pretty tight here, as you'd expect perhaps from these two well-credentialed singles players. Probably just on around about 7 metres, something like that. it's hard to tell when you're watching on a screen, but I can tell you that from where Rob's standing, there is something of a slope. So you need to be mindful. And right on cue, the ball runs down the slope and runs away, particularly when you have a stony surface like this and you can sometimes kick forward. But you do need to be very mindful of the slope, which runs from where Graham is now down to the right of your screen. Smitty's first point is short of the cosh, well short, probably 50 centimetres, but it is in front. And as I say, when you're playing downhill, that can be a real advantage to be in that position. Rob's second ball now. And he does well, squeezes past the front bull of Smitty to hold. So Smitty has 2 balls left in this end, Rob only 1, but Rob holds. So Smitty will try to outpoint or push his own ball. He's come up with a great point there. So Rob will want to put this close because otherwise Smitty might try and shoot to maximise some points in this end. So Rob needs a good one. Oh, and he's come up with an absolute gem. An absolute gem. He's just rested on Smitty's ball. Hard to tell whether that is 2 points. He's holding 2, or whether Smitty's still in second with the dark bull behind. But an excellent shot from Rob. Smitty not happy there, just needing to adjust his position, get his balance back. And he's a bit short there. So I guess the question now will be, is this 1 or 2 to Rob? It is just the 1 point to Rob, who takes now a 5-3 lead in this final. So a little mini break here for Rob. Again, a fairly short end. Probably just 6. Carefully perusing the terrain. And as I mentioned before, Rob's now in the position where he would be playing uphill. Not a bad one to begin with. That wasn't a bad shot, but it fell the wrong side, I think, of Rob's bull, which means that Ferguson still holds, and Smitty's still got a job of work to do. I think that's just short as well. Had a little look, but decided not to proceed to the cosh. So Rob in good position here.
I think I've got that.
So Smitty's suggesting he might actually hold now. presumably with the first ball. Rob happy to agree. So it's Ferguson to play. He shoots and misses. So with Smitty holding and one ball each player remaining, Rob now with his last. He's short but he's in front, so that may provide some cover. Let's see what Graham does with his last. He's nudged it. Let's see what the damage is. Umpire Adele Smith called in to adjudicate. It must be close. And from the look of that, it was just one. Yes, the scoreboard confirms it is 4 now to Smitty and Rob Ferguson on 5. So just the one. So good defending there. A bit unlucky from Smitty that he wasn't able to nudge the ball a bit further. Nudge the cosh a bit further. About an 8 metre end here. Not a bad one from Smitty. Good start. But a better one from Rob, and he holds. Excellent point from Smitty. There wasn't a great deal of room to move there, and Smitty was able to point very accurately and bring Rob back to the circle. Neither player shooting unnecessarily. It's a tactical game, singles, and both players are shooting only sparingly. It's a good one from Rob. But not quite enough to hold. So Ferguson with his last. That's another good one. He's now got the bulls in second, third and fourth position, but he does not hold. So Smitty with one left, and the not simple task of adding to his score based on the defensive positions of Rob's bulls. So can Smitty winkle one more point out? And look, way left from the start. So I think we have parity. Oh, it is two. It is two. So that second bull of Smitty's must have been good enough for 2 points to Smitty to take a 1 point lead over Rob Ferguson. So 6-5 is the score. Smitty launches the jack.
Sitting over there in the sun. Jim's smarter.
I would have said this was again 8.5 meters, maybe getting close to 9 meters, something like that. You can see the wind blowing the occasional leaf across the wintry piste. Oh, that's a lovely start. Just past the cosh, probably 30 centimetres past, but a good one. So can Ferguson get closer than that? He certainly can. What a beautiful shot. Right in front, boule devant, boule d'argent, they say. The ball in front is the money ball. So this may bring Smith into the ring as a shooter. Indeed. Oh, he's just over the top. That must have looked good from where he was standing. Must have had a very good loop. He was probably 2 bulls too long, but looked pretty straight. So with his third bull, he'll be looking to defend, to get close, to be in front. And he is. Well played. Terrific shot. So it looks as though Ferguson still holds with the ball in the front. But and he has 2 left. So he has some chance of adding to his tally, but he'll need to point very accurately given Smitty's last bull. It's not a bad one, but I don't think it'll do the job. So Ferguson with his last bull, and see if he can get any closer. That looks like a very good shot. Smitty concedes both points. They were terrific, that third one of Rob's. And that is enough to give Ferguson a 7-6 lead. So it's a seesawing affair in this Winter Solstice Singles final here at the Western Park Bulldrome in Canberra, brought to you by the Capital Petanque Club. So 7.5 metres or so. Rob's placed the jack. Launch the jack for this next end, holding the slenderest of leads. great start. Terrific start to this end. He's probably only 10 or 15 centimetres just behind the cosh on the left-hand side. Smitty carefully fills in his landing spot, or a landing spot. Crouches in the ring, erect. He's pushed that one a little bit to the right. It's not a bad bull under normal circumstances, but Rob's is holding. A bit of pressure on here on Smith. Can he hold on? You've got... it's a pretty critical time in the game. Rob has a slender lead and has a very good opening bull. So a little opportunity here perhaps for Ferguson. That's a very good bull from Smitty. I don't think it holds, but it is in front. He's just checking. He calls for the umpire to decide. If in doubt, why not? And indeed, it looks as though Smitty does hold. So that's a terrific reply from Smitty at a critical moment. So what will Rob do? Will he choose to shoot? He does, and he's short. And as I mentioned before, if you are short on this surface, it often bounces harmlessly over your target. And that's what happened that time. To minimise that, you really need to be shooting au feu on the full. But he's replied with a good bull. I think Smitty still holds with one bull remaining, but Ferguson has at least made it very difficult for Smitty to add to his tally. But that was potentially danger averted. If Rob had won this end, then that might have made things very difficult for Smitty. As it is, I think we're now at parity. Players signal 1 and agree, and that is indeed 7-all. So well played, Smitty. About 7 metres now this end, 7.5. Smitty to begin. Game at a critical and fascinating stage. Tight contest. Lovely start. That's cosh high, just to the right of the jack. So let's see the tactics here. Let's see what Rob chooses to do. Is that worth a shot? He points, and he is he there? He looks as though he does indeed hold. So, well played. Smitty now to counter-attack. He shoots. Oh! It's a casquette, and the ball, in fact, rolls backwards towards the cosh. That was desperately unlucky. Lovely straight arm, full extension, fingers pointing to his target, and the ball just skims. Gives his target bull a haircut. And the ball comes to rest slightly closer to the cosh and still holding. So again, a bit of pressure on Smitty. He has only one bull left. Rob has two, and Rob already holds. What can Smitty come up with here? He can come up with a lot. That's a good one. It's a very good shot. So now some questions for Rob about what his tactics are. Does he risk a shot here? Or does he try to point it out? He shot, I think that paid off. His own ball was ricocheted, but against Smitty's ball. Smitty's first ball. So that would leaves Rob holding. Again, nice shot, fingers extended. Maybe just a bit lucky, but fortune favours the brave, as they say. And that paid off for Ferguson. And he holds and has one bull left. So he has a chance to get two here. Needs a good point, needs an accurate point. But he took a chance there and it paid off. I think that one's gone wide. So players agree it's 1 to Rob Ferguson in this seesawing final. Both players collect their balls, collect their thoughts. Game entering a critical stage. That looks a little bit shorter. Just on 7. For this end, 7 metres. Rob to open. Some very hardy spectators, you can see. Everybody rugged up. That's dedication. Good start from Ferguson. He's 10 centimetres, 15 centimetres past the cosh. Very good. So, over to you, Mr. Smith. Well, he's not pointing here, I don't think. This looks very much like Graham in shooting mode. Just waiting for the crowd to settle. Oh, Smitty not distracted. That is an absolute pearler. Watch this. In slow motion, you can see the fingers again fully extended towards the target and flat. The beautiful arc of the lob. And the perfect carreau as it lands and spins off the target and replaces it. A perfect spot carreau. Well, that could be a significant turning point. Let's see. But what a time in this final to pull out a shot like that. Marvellous from Graham Smith. Well played. So now, having seen his lovely point, not only moved but replaced, what can Rob do by way of reply? He shoots two but misses on this occasion. He hasn't had a lot of luck since that early first carreau. He did have some luck in that other end not too long ago where he was able to hit a ball and keep his in place. But on that occasion he was wide. And now he's in front but perhaps a little bit short. So suddenly the door opened for Smitty. At 8-7 down, it's 8-all on the ground, parterre, and Smitty holding 2 bulls. So 2 good points here would give him 3 for this end and a lead. Oh, well, there's one of them. That's perfect. He's moved the cosh and given himself more space. So theoretically, this should be a formality. To take a 10-8 lead. Well, this is quite a turnaround on the basis of that beautiful spot carrow earlier in this end. And indeed, with a perfect point, Smitty capitalises and makes it 3. And there's the score registering there, 10-8. What a turnaround. That could be a critical little break there for Smitty, who's in the ring and quickly throwing the cosh. 7.5, something like that. Smitty obviously keen to play pretty quickly and build on the momentum of that last end. Let's see what he can do here. A good opening point would put a lot of pressure at 8-10 down on Rob. That is a very, very good point. Well, that's a really laid a marker out now for Rob, who needs his shooting to pick up here if he's gonna respond effectively. Let's see what he can come up with. In the ring, erect, standing. Let's see. Deep breath. He hits it, and very well played. He really had to hit that one. So he's given himself some space to now win the point. Which he does with a lovely point. Very good, Rob. He counter-attacked there, if you like. Had no choice but to have a go. And again, fortune favours the brave. Smitty, though, evening out the terrain in front of the target bull. So I think we know what's coming here. Bearing in mind he is in second position. That's a good one. But I think Rob still holds. He managed to knock the ball away from the cochonnet, but not far enough, which means Smitty will play again. He'll play his third bull before Rob does. That's a good one. So now it's really down to Ferguson. The question is, does he point or does he shoot? The eternal question in pétanque. Tir ou pointe? He knows his bull is in second position. If he was to shoot and stay, a successful carreau, he'd have 2 points. So is he going to point or will he try shooting? He shot and he missed. It looked to be straight, but again, he was probably, I would have said 30 centimetres short of the target bull, meaning it's 1 more point to Smitty. That was perhaps critical. And you think back to only the other end when Smitty came up with a spot carreau to turn things around. And now suddenly at 11-8, Smitty looks in control of the match. Slightly longer end. This time he's thrown the cosh a little bit further. Something like around 8, 8.5, but it doesn't matter. Smitty's all over the cosh. like the proverbial cheap shirt. He's all over it. And really now is taking a stranglehold on this game. It's a real challenge for Ferguson. Every end, if you open with a good point like that, it puts a lot of pressure on the person who's playing second. Can Rob's shooting hold up? That one was short again, perhaps 20 centimetres short of the target ball and slightly left. I'm not sure it was straight. So this could be death by 1,000 cuts. From 8-7 up, he's now 11-8 down and facing a very difficult situation. That's a very good point, but I don't think it holds. It's a good second. So unfortunately, Rob is going to need to go back to the ring, have a think about it, and try to come up with the perfect shot for his third. Ideally, he'd love to rest on Smitty's first bull and hold and just be on the inside. Let's see if he can pull out that kind of miracle. He shoots in a sort of death or bust kind of situation. And he missed. So that leaves Smitty with holding 12 on the ground and needing one more. And that's it. He's done it. He rested beautifully on Rob's ball and wins this final, the Winter Solstice Singles final, 13 points to 8 for the first time becoming Capital Petanque's singles champion, and does a dance of joy and is congratulated by his wife and by Rob Ferguson also. And there are the finalists with the president of the Capital Petanque Club, Gary Cameron, and today's umpire. Thanks for watching, and congratulations to both finalists and to Graham Smith as today's winner. My name's Sebastian Rosenberg. Thanks very much for watching.